this is Keith Hagerness, the Gregory's Guru, and I'm here to show you our new focaccia bread. It's a square loaf, which is very good. It's item number 3325. We're going to make several products out of that today. We're going to start out with a garlic parmesan breadstick. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to set this to the side. First we're going to coat the bread with a little bit of olive oil on the bottom. So I'm going to put a little olive oil in your pan here. So we'll brush that. Set this up. And flip it over. We've got some of our garlic butter that actually is spreadable at room temperature, item number 4575. And we're going to coat it with that. But first, we're going to cut this into 8 pieces. So this is a 12-ounce loaf. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut it in half, and then I'll cut it in half again, and I'll cut it in half again. Easy enough. Take these pieces. We let them thaw about 45 minutes, so they're easy to work with, but yet still a little bit firm. Spread the garlic butter on there. And like I said, this is spreadable at room temperature, so it's a great product. It's also shelf stable. Notice I keep them all together, it's a little easier to work with. Alright, we need some Parmesan cheese. I put it on fairly heavy because as the dough starts to rise, it'll split up a little bit, so you want to kind of put it on there. Like that. Just kind of pat it down a little bit. Then once you get that on there, then you can just separate these. You can usually get about 3 loaves on a sheet pan. Okay, that's what that looks like. Set that aside. Now everybody loves pizza, so how about a focaccia pizza? We'll make this in a full loaf. Here again, we're going to start with a little bit of olive oil on the bottom. Since we're going to use a pizza sauce, I'm going to go ahead and coat the top as well with a little olive. Now since this is already a square, nice, evenly sheeted out piece of dough, we don't need to put it in a pan or anything. We can just set it right on that sheet pan. Alright, got a little bit of pizza sauce here. You can put as much as you want on. I got about 3 teaspoons on here. Alright, put your pepperoni on. And then I've got an actual pizza blend here. It's got mozzarella and cheddar on it. Here again, you want to put it on fairly thick. Okay, let's change this up a bit. Let's make some pizza rolls. So actually you can take this and cut it into 4 and get 4 really nice rolls. Here again, just cut it like that. Cut it in half again. And we can get 4 nice rolls. Put it together here. All right, this time let's change it up. Let's put a little bit of garlic butter on it so it's a garlic pizza. Again, here I'm going to go ahead and coat the bottom with a little olive oil. But this time we'll put the garlic butter on. And you can put this on as thick as you want. Actually, if you really like garlic, you can put a little garlic salt on there on top of it. And that goes with the breadsticks as well. Spread that around. So here again, the beauty of this product is you don't have to let it thaw and then press it into a pan and try to get it to conform to the size you want. It's already a perfect square. We're going to stay with the pepperoni theme, but obviously we can use different toppings. Get creative. Sausage and mushroom, whatever you like, you know. We'll put a couple slices on each. Pizza cheese. Separate these out. Kind of looks like that. We'll set that aside. All right, the Southwest style foods are really taking off, so we're going to make jalapeno cheddar, which is very popular for the stores that are selling this now. Get a little olive oil on the bottom. I'm going to go with the garlic on top. Like I said, this is an excellent garlic spread because you don't have to heat it up. You can also do this with green chilies or whatever you want. All right, this one I use that, I'm just using a sharp cheddar on this one. Now, if you want to make a little bit thicker bread, you can use a pan. You'll notice it fits pretty nicely right there in the foil pan. Hey, let's try and change up the rolls a little bit here. Instead of making them square, how about we make them sub-style? So we can cut it in thirds here. Let's change it up a little bit more here. Let's do this is just a fresh pico de gallo. Which is another popular Southwest flavor. Your local supermarket will carry this kind of product. Usually find it in the deli. Go. And since I'm a big fan of pico de gallo, I think I'm going to make a couple more of those. Maybe a little more olive oil. So on the pico de gallo here, I sometimes like to skip the garlic. It's already got some good cilantro flavor in there. So when skipping the garlic butter, we're going to go ahead and brush both sides with olive oil. Focaccia sandwiches are real popular. You'll notice I made two different kinds of rolls. Kind of a sub roll, that's kind of a longer skinny one, and then of course I made the square ones. You can also just do a cheese blend where we put the cheese on the top, a little bit of olive oil, and then once the bread is baked, you can cut it open and fill it with whatever kind of meats you want, and maybe some additional cheese. Makes a great deli sandwich. So there's your 4 cheese blend. I'm going to cut this one into rolls again. So you can either make a focaccia sandwich like this, or make it into rolls, and then make your cheese blend. We'll do a couple of cheese and a couple of pico de gallo. It really doesn't need a filling, you know, especially if you're using pico de gallo or some other kind of fresh salsa will work too. And depending on your customers, you can make it as hot or as mild as they prefer. Alright, we're going to use a little Parmesan cheese on top of this pico de gallo roll. There's many, many varieties you can make. You can do a spinach feta cheese. You can use black olives. Those are real popular. You can do a multiple olive one with Kalamata olives and whatnot. All right, these are ready for the proof box. So we're going to go ahead and roll these in. I'll set these extra pieces aside for right now. So we're going to put them in the proof box. At about 85% humidity and 95 degrees for about 45 minutes. They don't take real long. So we'll see you in a little bit. Well, hello, the Gregory's Guru is back here. We've had the product in the proof box for 45 minutes, and I'm going to show you what it looks like. Here's our breadsticks. You can see they're ready for the oven. You'll also notice that I put like items together. Here's our bread. And then our rolls. So that's kind of what they look like. Next they'll go into the oven, 375 degrees for around 12 to 15 minutes, depending on the size of the product. We're using a conventional oven here. You can also use a rack oven or a convection oven. You just have to watch the bake time and the temp. You're going to want to lower the temp a little bit if you're using the convection oven. We're going to bake this in the conventional oven at 375 degrees. Rack oven, it's going to be about 350 to 360, and the convection oven probably around 325 to 335. Didn't get to show you the one in the foil pan here. I don't know if you can see that, but it comes up about to the top of that foil pan. Here's our sub roll that we made. All right, we'll set our timer for 12 minutes. All right, we got the breadsticks coming around. We've baked them for 12 minutes, so looks like the next shelf. You don't want to over bake the breadsticks because it's a small piece of dough, so you want to make sure that you don't bake them too low. So you can see they don't get a lot of color, but the cheese is starting to brown on it. So we're going to continue with the rolls and the bread. The rolls are about ready. I'm thinking one more rotation in the oven. The rotation in this particular oven takes about 1 minute. Okay, our rolls are done. As you can see, they still have a light color on them, but they're completely baked. We'll give the bread a couple more minutes. All right, the Gregory's Guru back here again. Just wanted to show you a sampling of what we did here. Here's our breadsticks. Like I said, you don't want to bake these too long. I'm going to cut into this. Great way to merchandise these is with some pizza sauce. As you can see, it's fully baked. Delicious. It's got a nice crunchy outside. Here's our sub roll that we made. You know, even though it has a light color on it, that part of that is because we use the pico de gallo. You can see it's fully baked. And then our square rolls. So they got a nice soft texture to them, which is what you want out of your focaccia. I'm not going to cut into the breads. They're still a little hot, but you kind of get the idea. You can see when you use the pan, you get a little more height and a little less this way. I prefer the larger just to bake it on the pan like that. You don't have the cost of the pan in it, and it looks like you're getting more for your money. It actually eats a little better because the dough's a little bit thinner than the one that's in the pan. All right, so long for now from the Gregory's Guru.